Hey guys, come in close. We can whisper so no one has to hear us. Let's talk about some emotional stuff. Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you about something that maybe isn't the most comfortable thing to talk about. Emotions. Guys don't like to talk about that stuff very often. It's something that you're going to deal with if you're not already dealing with it when you go through a divorce. So let's talk emotions. Divorce is not fun. Getting ready to go through a divorce is not fun. Any of you that have been through a divorce know exactly what I'm talking about. I remember the first emotion I felt was shock. What did you just say to me? You don't want to what? So I was shocked and confused, and it didn't take very long for me to get really, really angry. Ego. It hurts your ego when somebody you spent your life with, not your whole life, but a majority of it, wants to leave. I don't have any real details to go into on mine. Mine was pretty much, there was no cheating, nothing like that. And I'm not going to drag my ex in and smear her. Divorce doesn't happen because one person's upset. I mean, it's a good reason to get a divorce, I guess, but usually, even if you don't know it, you play a significant role in why your partner wants to leave. And it's taken me 5 years, maybe 6, to realize that. If you go back and think about, at least for me, if I go back and think about stuff that led up to the decision for us both to split, yeah, it was, there's a lot on my shoulders. Now, again, I don't think anybody in a divorce is 100% to blame. Now, there are some cases where it probably is, but I don't know too many. But you have to be able to admit when you screwed up, and I own it. Nobody's perfect. What I would say, if you are not filing yet, if you have a chance to fight, not physically, but fight for your marriage, do it. If you've got kids, think about them. It's embarrassing. It's not fun. But sometimes it's the best thing that you can do. I didn't like it at the time, but now, I'm almost 2017. So it's been, a good 6 years. And I think I'm happy. I know I'm happy. I just don't know if I'm better off. You know what I'm saying? I get to do what I want to do now. I'm contracting in Kuwait. That would have never happened had I been married. There's pros and cons to getting divorced. In my opinion, my humble opinion, the cons are greater. The pros come after the fact that you've got yourself cleaned up, pick yourself back up, get back out there, start fighting again, then the goodness comes. But you can't sit at home drinking, thinking about what might have been. You got to grow up, get out, reinvent yourself. This is a great opportunity to do what you want to do with your life. Myself, I'm a photographer, and I just opened my own LLC. It's my second one. This first one was not photography related. This one is. It's always been my dream to be a photographer. They say if you have sold something, you're a professional photographer. So I guess that makes me a pro. I've sold one photo. I think I made $89. but it's cool. That was in St. Louis in Washington, Missouri. So I'm still working on it. I've been taking pictures for a long time. I'm working on my skill set, working on my workflow, working on ideas, working on content, working on all kinds of stuff. jhmphotography.com, check it out. But my point is, you get a chance once you're on your own to do what you want to do. If you don't take advantage of that, you're wasting your time. You know, I mean, I still had my job. I had another business I started. I worked a lot of overtime as a police officer. For one, I had to make extra money because child support kicked my butt. I didn't have to pay alimony, just paid child support, but still, 3 kids, it was a big number. And so I had to do a lot of extra work to pay for that. But the side business I did was teaching. I taught kids how to drive. I did some family safety stuff, and I really enjoyed it. Parents didn't want to drive with their kids, so they'd call Officer Mac, and I'd go drive with their kids, and you know, spend weeks and weeks with them in the car and get them to pass that driving test. So I love working with kids. High school kids are my favorite. They're almost grown up enough that you can have grown-up conversations and, you know, connect. So I worked in a high school for 3.5 years as a school resource officer, so I got to meet a lot of parents that way. So that helped grow my client base, I guess. I had parents calling me. I didn't have to reach out half the time. And then once your name gets out there, you know, it spreads like wildfire. So start your own business. What do you like to do? You know, what are you good at? What do you do now that you can make money at? Woodworking, metalworking, photography, whatever it is, teaching. Start your own business. Be a business owner. It's fun. I plan on really growing my JHM photography when I get back to the States. It's going to be a lot of fun, but I had to go through a bunch of crap to get to where I am now. So my first 2 years, I was drunk and angry most of the time. So take it easy on the alcohol, especially if you already have a little drinking problem or you like it a lot. My wife and I did not drink, so we had a dry marriage. But as soon as I got divorced, I got undry real quick. So yeah, you do a lot of dumb stuff when you're drunk. Nobody's saying that you can't drink, okay? Social, whatever. Just don't make it emotional when you drink. That's, again, I'm not a pro, I'm not a counselor. This is just coming from a guy who learned from his mistakes. So talk to people. I didn't talk to anybody unless I was drunk, you know, and it seemed like family friends were no longer family friends. You'll notice that, and if you've been through divorce, you know that, especially if you and your wife are best friends with a couple, it generally doesn't last. I mean, I had some friends like that, and we hung out a little bit, me and the other ones, you know, but it drifted because now you're Jim. You're not Jimming the other person, and it's rough. You lose a lot of friendships. I met a whole lot of new people. Again, from the other video, internet dating, the shit show. If I could go back and do it all over again, another lesson, this was from the other video, I would not have started dating so soon. I would have waited a good year, at least, to work on this guy right here. So, if you're in that spot right now, slow down, take it easy, don't rush anything. You got the rest of your life to find somebody else. Spend time with your kids. They're confused. they're needy, they're kids. You know, my age group for mine was probably between the age of 4 and 13. I had 3 kids, still have 3 kids, but they were all fairly young. So, you know, one-on-one time with them, that's how I kind of did mine. Like, I would see them on the weekends, and then on Wednesday nights or Thursday nights or whatever, sometimes I'd see all 3 of them, and sometimes I would just take one out at a time, and we go, go get a hamburger or an ice cream cone and go to the park. Just get some solid one-on-one time so they know Dad's there, Dad still loves them. I'm not going anywhere. I do regret, the drinking, because, it's almost like I was showing off. I didn't give a crap what anybody thought. If I got my kids on the weekend, yeah, I'm going to have a drink. It's not cool. It's not good. I wouldn't do it. If you don't have your kids, drink. If you do have your kids, leave the shit alone. Because they remember it, believe me. Even when they're 4 and 5 years old, they still make comments. This year I had one from my daughter, and it's not stuff I like to go back and think about, You can't go back and change anything. All you have is now. The future ain't here yet, and the past is already gone. So work on what you can work on now so that your future is not like your past. That's what I do. That's what I do now. I went to counseling. I took a divorce class through my church. The best thing you can do is find some good guys that you can talk to. Maybe it's a self-help group. Maybe it's somebody who's been through divorce already. But talk to people, Talk to your folks, talk to your brothers, talk to your sisters, talk to whoever. But don't keep all that crap inside, I journal like crazy. I probably got 3 of them going at one time because I always lose them. But I journal, I write, I get that stuff out. It's freeing. I enjoy expressing myself that way. No one has to hear it. It's between me and the paper, and I get a lot of junk out that way. I get a lot of good ideas that way. It frees your mind. And if you don't journal, I recommend that you do it, even if it's just once a day for 2 minutes. You'd be surprised how much it can help you. That's my perspective anyway. Okay, so I'm not going to beat on the drinking anymore, but the emotions that are involved with divorce, the anger, the resentment, hatred, bitterness, pain, ego bruising, whatever it is, you have to deal with your emotions, because if you don't unpack that baggage, you're going to take it into the next relationship with you, and it's going to end exactly the same way. So until you can fix you, I wouldn't recommend messing with anybody else. And then take it slow, If your kids don't like them, the person you're dating, that's something you're going to have to deal with. But your kids will be with you forever until they aren't. So keep that in mind. All right, you guys have a good one. Jim McDonald, Dad's Digging Out. You guys have a good night. Please like and subscribe. Have a good day.